Hi there. This is a quick explanation or demonstration of how I clean and sanitize my bottles. First off, I harvest some of these wonderful bottles from a local brew pub, and I remove the labels by soaking it in OxyClean, which is a lot cheaper than PBW. TSP powder works great too. Just soak it in a bin. Laundry sink is great, and overnight usually the labels will peel off easily the next day. I do it in two waves though, since a lot of times there's a water resistant layer on the outside. I'll peel that off and then soak them often for a few more hours. Then I'll use Scotch-Brite, something like this, and scrub the rest of that off till they are just seemingly spotless. But of course I rinse the heck out of them as well, and with a lot of hot water. And then once I have them in this condition, from there on in, the typical use is give it a quick rinse with some water, give it a good shot, maybe anywhere from 2 to 8 ounces. Get all the yeast off the bottom, make sure that there's none on there, on the bottom of it. And I do that about usually minimum of 3 times, maximum of 4. And I make sure that I wipe this while I'm rinsing it, which is hard to do while I'm filming, but in case there's any saliva or lipstick or gunk there, I really wipe that around well, and I wipe the gasket. The same applies though to non-swing cap bottles, regular capable bottles. So in that condition, it's ready to be stored once it dries overnight or a few hours. Then I'll have it in dry storage. Now it's time to sanitize them, though, for bottling day. I will load up the dishwasher. Are you done eating yet, buddy? All right. And I'll load up the dishwasher here with as many as I can fit, because we're going to put on sanitize. And remember, the bottle's already been rinsed out, very clean. So now all we want is that heat. We don't need the water inside there. There'll be a lot of steam. And I'll just jam, as you can see, this thing is packed. The bottom layer is heaving full. I don't know if you can see all that, but it is just 2-3 layers full of bottles. And they are dripping, so there's no detergent in there, so I don't have to worry about detergent being lodged in the bottles. And they're all pretty dust-free the way I store them, so I don't have dust that's going to be in slime or grime that's going to get into the bottles that are laying lateral in the dishwasher. But as you can see, there are many, many bottles in there. I forgot to count, but I'm guessing something like, probably 60 or more bottles in here. And these same 16 or 16.7 or 9 ounce bottles that you see here in this case. Another advantage of putting them this way is the swing cap doesn't fall between and catch on the wand here. That's very dangerous. If this hits on these caps, if this cap would be sticking down in the way, it could wreck your dishwasher possibly, or cause the load to just be sprayed in one area the whole time. Anyway, from that point, as I'm ready to take these bottles out, I will use Star San, which I make with distilled water because it lasts forever. Then the manufacturers will tell you can keep it indefinitely if you make it with distilled water, so the minerals don't spoil it. And I will I will spray some of that on my hands when I'm working, so that as I handle these bottles, I don't contaminate them. Now I'll let these dry out, but then once they're dry, I will cap them. I'm not sure if it would even hurt to, that's a part of the plastic there, doesn't come off, but I will cap them, and any that I don't need that day, I'll save the leftovers for the next, all cleanly sanitized with no germs in there. I'll keep them capped off nicely for the next bottling day, and then I'll have a head start, and perhaps even enough for the entire batch that I do next time. And these can be just left on the shelf in the basement or in their beer crates, and no germs will get inside there. And It's a little blister, by the way, not dirt. And so that is the way that I sanitize and keep an ample supply on hand beyond whatever I need that day. Hope that helps.